I have chosen homelessness and substance abuse as my research project. I chose this topic for four main reasons. The first reason being that there are fancy treatment centers splashed everywhere. I've seen the ads on TV, heard them on the radio, seen them on the backs of bathroom stalls. It's obvious that Pathways in Pasadena is not for the people who have no insurance and or no money. It's also obvious that the homeless would not be welcome there. The second reason is that Hennepin County has the largest homeless population in the state, and I work right in the thick of it. I see many clients who are homeless, who are addicted, and who seem to have no options left to them. Third, I wanted to make sure I further understand this aspect of homelessness and how I can advocate for my clients against the state, the county, and the federal governments. Last and most importantly, I want to know how to better refer, help, and guide my clients as they come through my office. They come to me to help them meet needs. Substance abuse is commonly one problem they need help meeting head on. I want to know how to stand with them to do just that. As I was researching this topic, I found several areas that concern me. Substance abuse is often a cause for homelessness. Many family members have simply had enough and kicked the addict out, or they lose their job. According to a United States Conference of Mayors 2008 survey of 25 cities, substance abuse was the single largest cause of homelessness for single adults, as reported by 68% of those cities, and 12% reported it as one of the top 3 reasons for families. However, it is not the only reason for homelessness. Another area of concern is that the homeless have different needs than the people who have housing. Once a homeless person has been released from treatment after 30 or 60 days, unless the housing issues have been dealt with and met, the client will be going back to homelessness and what she or he knows. If a client decides she or he wants to go to treatment, the waits for a bed are long and the hoops to get a bed are many. Assessments usually take a couple of weeks to get an appointment. The client then has to wait for a state or county funding to pay for it. That can take up to 60 days to establish once they have the Rule 25 assessment completed. By the time all of the parts are in place for a homeless person to go to treatment, they've moved on or have simply decided against it. With that being said, treatment facilities are not equipped to deal with the issues that the homeless face. Housing needs, non-existent support systems, illegal activities to get food or money, or simply the lack of insurance. Even though the tide is starting to change, many treatment facilities treat substance abuse and not mental illness, and vice versa. The last concern I have found is that professionals are not willing to treat both substance abuse and mental illness together. I see many people who bring forms into my office stating that they are unable to work due to mental illness and or substance abuse without any type of treatment plan. The doctor signs the form and schedules the next appointment with their client 6 months out and expects that the client is going to get better, or as I was told by one psychiatrist, he hoped they find their way and help themselves. There are some very big misunderstandings by professionals in regards to the homeless and substance abuse. Because many homeless people move around from area to area, treatment plans for things such as counseling and outpatient treatment are not as effective as for those people with a home, transportation, and stability. For the homeless, survival is the most important thing. Shelter for the night and the daily search for food is a much bigger priority than drug treatment. When you're in survival mode mentality, seeing the big picture is so much more difficult. One need at a time must be met or everything becomes a crisis. For those who are not homeless, our basic needs are met, so we are not left scrambling to meet them hour by hour. The homeless have less motivation to quit substances. Because they can't see a way out of their situation, many see substance abuse as a requirement to being homeless. Others also tend to accept people in their situation as one of them. Homeless turn to substances to cope with their situation. Being homeless is hard and scary and exhausting. Substances help take the worst of homelessness out of the picture, even as a short-term solution. Mental illness is very common among the homeless who abuse substances. As I stated in the previous slide, many treatment facilities have the capacity to treat the drug, but not the ability to treat mental illness, and subsequently, many facilities that treat mental illness are not equipped to treat substance abuse. Difficulty getting professionals to treat co-occurring disorders is still prevalent in this country. Another misunderstanding for professionals is that most homeless people have no support system in place. Their family is estranged and friends are in the same, if not worse, situation than the person getting treatment. Once there is no structure of treatment and the rules of the facility, the homeless are ill-equipped to deal with the cravings and aftercare that's required. Professionals think that even without all of the pieces in place, the homeless will be able to cope with the after effects of substance abuse, and that is proving to be incorrect. I have several recommendations for change that will help the homeless who are addicted to substances. First and foremost, we need more treatment facilities that are equipped to treat more holistically. Treating the whole patient and their needs is most important for a successful recovery. Medical health and mental health, as well as housing and basic skills, all need to be taken into consideration. We need longer treatment times. In most cases, more time is needed, especially in the lower income and homeless populations. Each person needs time to get their affairs in order and work to get their basic needs met. While treatment teaches a person how to live a sober life, there's a lot of changes that happen in those 30 to 90 days, and each person responds differently. Time to line up sober housing or a new job or learn life skills would be helpful. Third, we need less red tape and less bureaucracy for people who are low income or homeless. Insurance should not be the main issue a client has when they are looking to go to treatment. Testing their will to go while waiting through wait times and paperwork should not be something that is expected and acceptable. Wait lists for the poor should not be over 2 months long if facilities for the middle class and well-off have immediate placements. Economic status should only matter once a person is in the facility, and then and only then during a broader needs assessment to see what, other than substance abuse, the client is facing. That leads me to my next point. Homelessness and treatment need to go hand in hand. They both need to be treated at the same time in the same stay so the client is more set up for success instead of failure. More supportive housing programs need to be in place for ongoing sobriety. Studies have shown that if the client has a stable living environment when they leave treatment, they are much more successful than those who don't. Stable housing can also incorporate life skills, job searches, money management, self-care, and mental health care. Setting clients up for success will also help lower the revolving door phenomena that goes with homeless clients in treatment. And last, punishment for substance abuse is proving to be ineffective. Throwing a homeless person in jail because they have a minimal amount of pot or methamphetamine or pills or alcohol that they would have is not helpful. It just adds to the cycle of jails and institutions that the AA Big Book talks about. Jails and institutions don't help break the cycle, it just exacerbates it. In conclusion, we need to help people succeed, some much more than others. Every person who wants treatment should be set up for success, no matter what that success looks like. I'll leave you with this quote by Jesse Jackson. Never look down on anybody unless you are helping them up.